All right, so I'm Chris Hecker, and this is my soapbox that is entitled "No One Knows About Your Game." So, how many people here have heard of SpyParty? So it's not actually all the people, and that's exactly what I expected. It's a pretty well-known, highly anticipated game, right? I mean, it's been topping most anticipated lists for many years. And I'm very lucky about this. So this means basically everybody in the game industry and all the fans and everything know about the game, right? Where's my audio? Where's the audio? There it is. Here we go. All right. Oops. Everyone knows who this is, right? God damn it. How do I get audio? This is why these talks never work. Do I have to turn it on? Do the voice? Yeah, I can't. My Molyneux's not great. Do I have to turn this on?
No.
Oh, it was. There we go. You gotta love that sound. All right, here we go. This is Peter Molyneux.
One of the most interesting games on the horizon for me, it's called SpyParty. It's a game by Chris Hecker. I don't know if you've seen it before. I don't know if you've seen it before. I don't know if you've seen it before.
So Peter Molyneux, one would say a fan of experimental, interesting games in the game industry, pretty well versed with what's going on. No idea what the game is, right? He's not alone. Every few months on Reddit, this kind of thing pops up. Well, what is this game? I think I heard about it. It's got a spy or a sniper in the SpyParty. In this game, this one, if you type this into Google, the game is the first link, and they still posted it. I read about this game, and anecdotally speaking, I talk to mainstream game developers all the time, AAA, people not in this room. None of them have heard about the game, right? Journalists, a ton of journalists have never heard about the game, even though it's gotten this much press. Even indies, I was at IndieCade in October. We had just released all the new artwork for the characters. How many people here knew that we released character artwork? Okay, see that? That's like maybe 10% of the people. It was covered in every single large blog and news site and forum, okay? On the walk over here, I met Dino and Arn from Playdead. They had no idea. We're basically like peers in the same industry, and people have no idea. I want to be clear, I'm not complaining about this. I'm incredibly lucky with how much attention SpyParty has gotten so far, and I work really hard to try and make a game that is worthy of that attention, but it is worth investigating what's going on here. At this exact same time slot in 2011, I gave a talk about observations I had made about other AAA indie games. I aspire for SpyParty to be a AAA indie game. Games like Bastion or Braid or Castle Crashers, World of Goo, that kind of, that size game. And the conclusion I came to is that almost all of these had what I called a long-term, slow-burn, grassroots awareness-building campaign. Talk about the game early and often. I mean, you know the things. I mean, the natural selection, Charlie talked about this earlier today, the Natural Selection 2 talk. That exact kind of open development, just talk about the game for years from the first asset. Not everybody does this, but it is a common theme among these successful AAA indie games. The problem is there are a lot of games out there. People who work at blogs, game blogs, news sites will tell you they have quotas on how many things they have to post a day. Like it is a fire hose of information about new games. And if you blink, you miss them. And that's why these people who are in the industry, immersed in the industry, and even though it was basically an embargoed saturation marketing thing for the new artwork, like it was gone in an instant as soon as it scrolled off, right? And they didn't hear about it. There's advertising people have this concept of effective frequency, which is the number of times that you have to put an advertisement in front of people before they'll engage or buy or even just remember whatever it is you're selling. And there's various, the advertising industry is like full of snake oil, cockamamie nonsense. But there's various theories about it. It's got to be 3 times. There's somebody who has a theory that it has to be 20 times. And on the website there, on the Wikipedia entry, they're clearly delineating what the difference between the 16th and the 17th impression is. This is how crazy people are about how many times and why and what happens in the viewer's brain. And there's a lot of weird psychology going on here. And it's not just games. Penny Arcade. Most people have heard of Penny Arcade. They have 3 million readers. Gabe posted a thing about apologizing for talking about strip search all the time, but he did some surveys where it showed that just no one had heard about it. Even though he talked about it every day, it was on the sidebar of their website, and he talks about it in Twitter, on their Facebook page, and everything constantly, and still almost no one's heard about it. They didn't know they did the Penny Arcade Report, which is their news site. Everybody has this problem. So what about overhyping? Is it something you need to be scared about? Is Phil here? Phil, are you here? So Phil did an AMA on Reddit the other day, and it said, somebody asked him, what's a big mistake that you think indies make? And he said, well, I think talking about the game too early is a problem. I know it's harder to be secret, but I think it's worth it. And I think this is an incredibly risky strategy. By only talking about the game once it's finished and ready to go, you're taking the risk that this thing that you poured years of love into will just get forgotten in an instant when they just didn't check Kotaku that day. It's just an incredibly risky strategy. I have some personal experience with this concept of overhyping. I was on Spore for 6 years, and I've actually thought a lot about it. I thought about it while it was happening. I thought about, I thought about it while I was talking to the press about the game. I thought about it after the game shipped. And the theory I came to was this: you actually can't overhype a game. You can only underdeliver. If Spore had been as awesome as we claimed it was going to be, there would have been no problem. Everyone would have forgotten immediately that we had talked about it for 5 years. It counts on the fact that you're playing and that you're making a really good game. You have to make a really good game for this to matter. If you're not making a really good game, your PR strategy doesn't matter. So this is all second order after you're actually making a good game. Different games need different approaches, obviously. A very spoilerable game like The Witness or like the Stanley Parable has to have a very deft approach to how you talk about the game for a long period of time. But you can do it. I mean, there are examples. You can go see how these people are doing it. And they can be entertaining. They can still be consonant with the aesthetics of the game design. But you can still talk about the game a lot. And so I used to be really bummed whenever I'd meet somebody who didn't know about SpyParty, because I was like, oh my God, I spend so much time on this. And now I realize it's actually an opportunity. There are so many people out there. To meet somebody new who's got a new network of friends who hasn't heard about the game, they're excited when they hear about it and they go talk to their friends. That's a great thing. It's an opportunity when you meet people who don't know about your game. And in fact, Jamie Cheng has this really interesting philosophy about it, where he's basically, instead of thinking about it as a lost opportunity when you burn somebody, you burned a player because they know about your game, but it's not ready to buy or whatever. There's an infinite number of players out there for indie scale games. It's better to think about it that way. It's just constant flow of people who are interested in your game. There's so many people out there, and I think it's a really healthy way of looking at it. So you need to just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. The sprint mentality is like save it all up for the very end and then just burst it all out. That's one thing you want to do in terms of a tool of an overall PR strategy for talking about your games, because right now nobody knows about your game. So thank you.